would it refresh your memory to take a look at Officer Gregory's report? He watched the video surveillance and has reported it. Would that refresh your memory?
As to what, sir?
As to, on the video surveillance per Officer Gregory's report, which way or where your car was in the BP Circle K. Would it refresh your memory to take a look at that report?
I'm sorry, you're asking me basically hearsay if reading his testimony would help me remember something he saw on video?
Yes, I'm asking you if looking at a report about where you were in the BP Circle K would refresh your memory. It's a, if it'll help you, say yes. If it won't help your memory, you can say no.
You're asking me if...
The answer is yes or no. He's already asked you 3 times.
No.
So, not even worth a look, Mr. Zimmerman. Is that fair?
Not even a look at the report that he wrote about watching the video?
Correct.
No, sir.
And you have not seen this report before, have you, sir?
No, sir.
So you don't know what's on it or what's not. You can just say with certainty, this won't, and this, if I'm holding in my hand the report, just won't help you, won't jog your memory, not one bit. Correct?
No, sir. You just told me that it was a report of the officer watching a videotape.
The plain fact of the matter is, Mr. Zimmerman, you know that when you cut into that Circle K, BP, you swung right around in here where Mr. Apperson was parked, didn't you?
No, sir. I don't know that to be a fact, no.
So, are you still sticking with I don't recall, or are you saying that you didn't do that? I'm just asking for clarification.
Your Honor, objection to the characterization that you're still sticking to.
I don't understand what part you're alleging, sir.
Sure. Let me clarify.
Thank you.
About a minute ago, you told the jury that you didn't know where you went in the BP Circle K.
That's correct, sir.
So
Yes.
now I'm asking you, are you still saying that you don't recall, or are you saying definitively that you didn't go here towards those parking spaces?
You're asking me to retestify, sir? You asked and I answered that. I can tell you again, yes, I do not recall.
Thank you.
Certainly.
If I could return this, Your Honor.
Yes, you may.
In order for record purposes, of course, I was sympathetic to Exhibit 1.
Thank you.
Mr. Zimmerman, let me ask you about 2 days after the September 9th incident. You had testified that you went to Waymont Court, and as you were leaving, you were stopped by Lake Mary Police Department. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
And just to be clear, on that day, you had a pistol. That you were in your car, correct?
Yes, sir.
And now I don't want to I want to just orient you to where my questions are going to be, Mr. Zimmerman.
Thank you, sir.
I'm going to ask you a few more questions about September the 9th, okay?
Of 2014? Or 2015, sorry?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
The whole thing at the BP station. You have testified that you were driving down Lake Erie Boulevard. You and Mr. Apperson traded words, correct?
And I'm sorry, you're talking about September the 9th, way before he shot at me on May the 11th. Way before he shot at me, that we had a verbal exchange?
Yeah, on Lake
Yes,
Erie
sir, that was
Boulevard.
my testimony yesterday. Yes, correct.
And I believe you testified yesterday that during the verbal exchange, Mr. Apperson said words to the effect of, "You were wrong to shoot that little black boy." And your response was, "You have no idea what I've done for the black community." Is that your testimony?
Yes, sir, that's the way I recall it.
Do you recall, again, at the hearing that we had,
Yes, sir.
that we've previously spoken about on September the 22nd? When you were asked what you said after Mr. Apperson said, you were wrong for killing that little black boy, do you recall being asked, what did you respond to the question? "I believe I laughed at him. I told him to fuck off. He didn't know what he was talking about." Do you recall that testimony?
That sounds correct, yes, sir.
So yesterday, when you told the jury that you had been out the window speaking to Mr. Apperson about your good deeds for what you had done for the black community, that wasn't correct, was it?
Can you repeat my testimony, sir?
"I believe I laughed at him. I told him to fuck off. He didn't know what he was talking about."
Is that the end of my testimony, sir?
Next question, did you continue driving on the same spot? So yes.
So what, I'm sorry, the question again?
So my question is,
Yes, sir.
is why did you tell the jury yesterday that, when Mr. Apperson was telling you that you were wrong to shoot Trayvon Martin in so many words, you said, I leaned out the window and said, "You have no idea what I've done for the black community."
Sir, I never said that I leaned out of my window, sir.
Oh, well, let's just focus on your words, because I'm really asking about your words, Mr. Zimmerman. So your words, that's what you told the jury yesterday, but you never said anything about telling Mr. Apperson to fuck off.
I do not like cursing in front of ladies, and I don't think I was given permission to curse at that specific question, sir.
And so good reason just to change it up, right? Because you don't want to say the swear word, so just pick something else out and say you said that, right?
No, sir, I didn't embellish it at all. I added what I said to Mr. Apperson.
You didn't say anything about, you're talking about the black community on Lake Erie Boulevard at that hearing before when you were on the road, did you?
I'm not according to your transcript, you may have cut me off at that time, sir. I don't recall.
Welcome to hear 54 minutes and 13 seconds in your testimony.
Pardon?
You're welcome to hear 54 minutes and 13 seconds in your testimony. It's up to you.
Here, you cut me off?
You're welcome to hear your testimony. And then we can get into whether I cut off your testimony from there. Good call.
Oh, you're asking me if I want? No, sir. I don't want to take the time to do that. Take their time.
So the reality of it is, Mr. Zimmerman, is that you were angry when you told him to fuck off, weren't you?
Certainly, yes.
And you were just angry enough to follow him right into that BP station and swing around to where he was parked and tell him that you were going to shoot him, just like you shot Trayvon Martin, didn't you?
Sir, you're talking about a year before he shot at me and tried to kill me? A year before that?
I don't want two people to be talking. So, Mr. Zimmerman, for the last 6 or 7 questions, we've been speaking about September 9th at the BP station.
No, sir, you were talking about my testimony in September of this year.
Okay. Are you, when I say, when the question comes to you, that you were angry, and that's why you followed him into the BP station, do you not know what day I am speaking about, Mr. Zimmerman?
Sir, if you'd like to read the transcript, you asked me 3 questions in that one sentence, if you'd like.
Do you not know a simple yes or no, but if you'd like to explain it, make sure you know.
If you'd like to ask one question, I'll give you one answer.
We can't have both of you talking at the same time, so if you'll please allow Mr. LaFay to finish his question, and then he'll allow you to finish your answer.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you know which day I'm talking about when I reference the BP station?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So the question is, again, you were just angry enough to follow him right into that BP station and swing around to where he was parked and tell him that you'd shoot him just like you shot Trayvon Martin.
Absolutely not, sir. That's made up.
I want to ask you about, and Mr. Zimmerman, for the next sequence of questions, I'm going to be asking you about May the 11th,
2015, yes, sir.
2015.
Yes, sir.
Now, you testified that you had a Springfield pistol,
Yes, I did, yes, sir.
and that was in, of course, the cab of your Honda Ridgeline, correct?
The cabin?
The cab.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
Where the front area where
Yes, sir.
the passenger and where the driver would sit.
Yes, sir. The
Correct.
cap would be the cover on the bed, but the cabin, yes, sir.
Actually, thank you.
Yes, sir.
And you've also testified that it was loaded.
Yes, I did, sir.
Springfield.
Yes, sir.
It had a round in the chamber, correct?
Yes, sir.
There's a clip of 9 rounds or so in the clip, correct?
I can't remember if it's 8 or 9, but that sounds about right. Yes, sir. I testified that it was at capacity. Yes, sir.
And you also testified that the hammer was back, correct?
That's the only way you can carry it. Yes, sir.
Basically, it's ready to fire, is it not?
No, sir.
Well, there's a thumb lever on it, correct?
At least that one safety. There's 2 more. Yes, sir.
Are you ready? And Mr.
Excuse me a second, T. I'm going to check that.
This is Springfield, correct?
Right, may I move so I can see?
Yes,
what
you may.
is-
I don't mean often. Correct, Mr. Zimmerman?
Yeah, I'm assuming so. Yes, sir. I don't see the serial number or anything, but yes, that is my gun. I'm fairly certain.
There's a key safety on it, correct?
Yes, sir.
That was disengaged.
Correct. Yes, sir.
So now there's also another safety feature. It's the handle safety, correct?
It's called a beaver tail or a backstrap safety. Yes, sir.
That is simply to prevent the gun from firing when you drop it, correct?
No, sir. It's also to make sure that you have your hand on it correctly when trying to fire it. And it also engages the hammer safety.
Okay, so basically, if you have this in your hand, if you put any pressure on the handle safety is disengaged, correct?
I'm sorry, sir. I'm not a forensic expert or anything, but it has to be a certain amount of pressure. You said any pressure that would be incorrect. It would have to be a certain amount.
It doesn't require you to do anything, in short, to disengage, other than press on the handle to disengage the handle safety, correct? That's all you got to do, press on it.
It's designed to make sure you have your hand on there with the correct firm grip.
Squeeze this and the safety's disengaged on the handle, correct? So by this, I mean the handle.
The back strap safety?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So the only thing left, the only safety left to fire this weapon is this little thumb lever here, correct?
It's on both sides.
Okay. So all you got to do is press that down and you're good to go.
I don't understand. Good to go,
All
sir.
you got to do is press the thumb lever down and you're ready to fire, correct?
I'm glad you clarified that, sir. They're not, they don't work together. They're actually, each safety is independent of each other. You can't, like you said, just push that down and fire. You would have to disengage both safeties, for all three safeties, in order for it to fire. But I didn't have that third safety on.
Okay. So all you got to do is press the thumb lever down and it's ready to fire.
No,
correct?
no, sir. That's what I'm trying to explain. You have to, they're independent of each other, sir. So you'd have to ensure that the thumb safety was down and the back strap safety was depressed.
So all you have to do is press the thumb levers down and squeeze on the handle and you're ready to fire, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, when not in your car, you carry the Springfield in a holster on your belt, correct?
I'm sorry, sir. Not at all times. Are you asking about just on that date?
Yes.
On that day, yes, sir.
So, and when you got into your car, you took the Springfield pistol out of the holster and put it on the magnetic fast draw clip next to your right knee, correct?
No, sir. It was a magnet, not a clip. And I don't recall if I did it that day or if it was already in there from the day before. But I would tend to agree with you. Just out of habit, that's it. That's typically what I do, yes, sir.
And the magnet is screwed in to the console.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Correct.
It's on the outside of the console, correct?
Yes, sir. Correct.
So the pistol is right there, as you testified, even with your right knee.
Yeah, to the right of my knee, in between my right knee and the console. Yes, sir.
You've also testified, of course, you had the Glock 9mm in your backpack.
Yes, sir.
Again, there's a round in the chamber, true?
Again, sir, as I testified, I don't recall exactly what condition it was in, but that is how I generally carry the firearm, so I would have to default and say, yes, probably, that's how I had it.
You had extra ammunition in your car for both pistols, true?
Yes, sir.
Several hundred rounds.
No, sir.
Well, the boxes that you have of Federals carry 100 rounds apiece. Is that the capacity of each box of Federal ammunition?
You mean, is that the capacity brand new?
Is that what's in the box?
I have no idea. That box could have been empty, or could have had 4 or 5 rounds rolling around in it.
But your testimony is that you don't recall, but you know that they weren't full. Is that it?
No, sir. My testimony is that I don't recall whether they were full or not.
So you could have had a couple hundred rounds in there, correct?
No, sir. I think even at that full capacity of each box, that's not a few hundred rounds. Nowhere near that.
You told us that you left to go to your doctor's office. Someplace on Lake Emmett?
I'm sorry, sir. Are you talking about the September?
All my questions have to do with May the 11th. Thank you, Mr. Zimmerman. May the 11th, 2015. All my questions at this point, if you just plug that date in when I ask you these questions.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, you, on May the 11th, you left to go to your doctor's office, correct?
Yes, sir.
From somewhere on Lake Emma.
Yes, sir.
Took you a minute or two to get to Greenwood and Lake Mary? Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Traffic that day, would you agree, was moderate to heavy on Lake Mary Boulevard?
At that time after school, no, sir.
I'm talking about the lunch hour.
Mm,
12 and 1.
Not in that area, no, sir. You're talking about from Lake Emma to Greenwood again?
No, I'm talking about on Lake Mary Boulevard.
Oh, yes, sir. Certainly it was moderate. I'm sorry, you characterized it as moderate to heavy? Yes, sir.
And from that intersection, Your Honor, if I could just take a moment.
Okay.
I have states one. Do you recall that the intersection at Greenwood and Lake Mary Boulevard Trailhead Park, right?
Yes, sir.
So, as you said, you took a right on Lake Mary,
Absolutely.
and it took you about 5 to 7 minutes to get down to Waymont, correct?
Are you asking if that's my testimony or if that's what I recall today?
Well, what I'm asking you is that from that intersection, it took you 5 to 7 minutes to get to Waymont, depending on the traffic. Could have been as low as 5, high as 7, but depending on traffic.
I'd say that's close or fair. Yes, sir.
And you know Dr. Dillahay's policies about if you show up too late for your appointment, you may not get seen, and you have to pay anything, right?
You're asking if that's his general policy?
I'm asking if you know about that.
He doesn't enforce that with me for, I guess, politeness or... He has charged me one time, and he hasn't since.
So you wanted to get there a little bit early, is that fair?
No, sir.
You wanted to get there late?
On time, sir.
Okay. And you left your house at 12:30, at about 12:30, didn't you?
I think my testimony was 12:38 to 12:42, roughly.
Do you recall? I know you told the jury you left at roughly 12:38 to 12:42.
Yes, sir.
But do you recall on September the 22nd, and again, at the previous hearing where you testified, you recall being asked, what time did you leave your house? Answer, at 20 minutes, answer, around 12:30. Do you recall that?
Yes, sir.
Do you recall being interviewed by the Lake Mary Police Department a couple of days I think it was on, a couple of days after May the 11th, on May the 13th.
Yes, sir.
You went
I
down to
I can't testify that that was the date, but yes, sir, I do recall being interviewed by Lake Mary Police.
You went down to the Lake Mary Police Department with your attorney, and you gave a statement, correct?
No, sir.
I'm sorry, it was the Winter Park Police Department.
Lake Mary decided not to hold it at Lake Mary for their own reasons. I didn't know that I was allowed to say where it was.
Well, you went down to, and with your attorney, and spoke with the investigators in this case, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you told them that you left your house at around 12:30, correct?
I don't recall, but if that's what you're saying that I said, I certainly remember being interviewed, and that certainly goes along the lines with what I previously stated. But I don't recall precisely that question.
Would you like to hear it?
I'll take your word for it, sir.
You want to go in, approach, please?
Yes?
You also told us yesterday, Mr. Zimmerman, that as you were turning right onto Lake Mary Boulevard, that you did see a Seminole County deputy's car there, which ended up in that car. You saw the car go down Lake Mary and turn into Trailhead Park, correct?
No, sir. Again, that's a mischaracterization of my testimony. I said that as I was waiting to make the right-hand turn. You just stated that as I made the right-hand turn, I noticed him.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
So, and you thought that that deputy was probably there checking for light runners, correct?
Checking for what, sir?
Light runners. And by light runners, I'm using the term as in red light.
Right. I would assume so. Yes, sir.
That's what you thought, right?
Certainly, yes.
And as you saw that deputy and you were driving now on Lake Mary Boulevard, you don't recall if the deputy was still in motion or not, correct?
You're asking as of today, right now, sir?
I'm asking as of today, and I'm asking also as of
I'll
May
be...
the 24th when the deposition is taken.
No, sir. It could have even been two different deputies, sir. My statement or my testimony was that the Seminole deputy that passed me was a K-9, and then I saw another deputy at Trailhead Park.
So my question is that the deputy that you saw at Trailhead Park, that vehicle, as far as you know, you don't recall if it was still in motion or not, correct?
Correct. When you mean in motion, I mean he was backing into a spot, into a parking spot.
Just asking if the car was still in motion. You can clarify or explain your answer anytime you like.
Thank you, sir. Did you want me to clarify it, sir?
Can if you'd like.
Yes, sir. I saw him backing into a spot that would have given him the field of vision to see any red light runners. That's why I assumed he was parked watching or getting ready to park to watch any red light runners.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
So, let me ask you, you mentioned that you were then driving down Lake, or you testified, you were driving down Lake Mary Boulevard.
Yes, sir. Eastbound.
And, you know, about a block or so, not too long, after you got on Lake Mary Boulevard, then in this area here, you noticed the car behind you honking and flashing its lights.
I'm sorry, sir. Could you zoom out so that I can see the relation to Reinhardt Road? Yes, sir. In the eastbound, actually. You're
Right.
in the eastbound lane.
Eastbound.
Yes, sir.
So, and this car, you testified, was behind you and tailgating, and so as a result, you switched to the left-hand lane and decided not to turn into Waymont Court. Is that correct?
No, sir. I testified that Mr. Apperson was honking his horn and flashing his high beams, not simply tailgating.
And that's why you turned into you got in the left-hand lane,
Correct. Yes, sir.
and then you decided not to turn into Waymont Court, correct?
No, sir. I testified that once Mr. Apperson followed me into the left-hand lane, that's when I decided not to turn into Waymont Court.
So, and at the post office, there's that U-turn that you testified about, correct?
After the post office? Yes, sir.
How much further down past the post office is that?
I'm sorry. In what direction are you speaking of, sir? I can show you with the...
Not going eastbound.
Then
U-turn.
I don't know if it's past the post office or not, to be honest with you. I'd have to see the map.
Would you agree this is the post office, here's the exit to the post office, and here's that U-turn?
Yes, sir.
So, and you also testified that, there was an exchange of words. And as you told the jury yesterday, you may have called Mr. Apperson, or you did call Mr. Apperson a clown.
You asking if that was my testimony yesterday? Yes, sir, certainly.
You actually called him a fucking clown, didn't you?
I apologize, but yes, sir.
And, Your Honor, I'm going to have to set up one of the state's exhibits for my next.
Okay, you can do so.
I'll be using 23. And now,
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to set that up, instead of having you sit here and watch, we'll go ahead and let you take a break. So put your notepads face down on the chair. Follow Deputy Debs into the jury room. Mr. Zimmerman, you can join us with the break, so you're free to walk around. Please don't go far, because as soon as they're ready, we'll reconvene.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, court will be in recess until I'm informed they're ready.
He's not coming back? Yeah, they're here for adult sentencing, and the court's told them to come to this courtroom. The judge nominated an adult sentencing today. The trial. So I ended up getting the right date from my law out. There's no, anything that was proposed, there was
future you need, would you?
Yeah, I think that when it with the computer,
Okay, do you have that slow feature?
I'm checking right now.
I'm not, you be here for 50 hours. You can sit right there.
Yeah.
And screw around.
No, it's just catching up with stuff. It's gonna work.
I'm so sorry. I am so, I mean, when I looked at it, all I said was, you know,